We are having so much fun out here at the Wildlife West Festival. It's rather warm, and I'm interviewing James Reams, who's from Phoenix, so you're not very warm, are you?
No, in fact, we're used to that.
And I see you're wearing long pants.
That's right.
Well, at least you are wearing pants. That's good. So, is this your first time out here?
First time here at the, yeah.
And
it's been amazing. They've got black bear out here at the Wildlife Museum, and they've got hawks and falcons. And of course, they have this music festival that is Americana music, bluegrass and Texas swing and everything else.
Well, I got to hear a little bit of James Reams and the Barnstormers, and that was just quite a treat for me, since it's the best bluegrass band I've heard in a long time.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And we'll be taking more videos of you later, and thanks for the interview.
Well, thanks, Judy.
Who actually has come from a musical family. His father is a steel guitar player and has played country music and things like that. And I'd just like to turn the mic over to him. I don't know if he's going to say anything or what he was going to say, but here it is.
What's he going to do?
No, my name's Tyler, and like James said, I come from a musical family, and that's where my interest in music started. I actually started in 3rd grade with violin, and I kept with that until sophomore year, until I got a banjo. And so, turned 16, I wanted a car, but my parents got me a banjo instead. So, I made them pay dearly by practicing in the middle of the night, all nights. So, they wish they got me a car. But, I was very fortunate to be exposed to kind of the old country, because that's what my dad plays. Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, Johnny Paycheck, all the classic 60s, 70s, 80s, and really fell in love with that stuff. And it didn't go far from there when I was playing banjo, to just jump over to like listen to Earl Scruggs, and listening to Flying Around Breakdown, and of course that's where a lot of people hear the first banjo, because the whole theme song of Bonnie and Clyde. And that's just what everybody out at the band says, hey, you know how to play that song? And you're like, yeah, I do. $20? Yeah, okay. Fill up the tip jar.
Said no one's going to have to talk. My story is, I grew up on the East Coast, and probably some of the music I was playing was sort of paralleling maybe some of the music James was playing at the same time in New York, and we probably really weren't very far away. And I'll bet if we sat and talked about it, we'd probably find that there was somewhere where we were both there at the same time, like Philadelphia Folk Festival or someplace like that.
Oh, I was
Cheers.
Of course. When I was a kid, my dad was in a kind of a minstrel show type entertainment fundraising show. It was called Burnt Cork then, but they changed it because it became not politically correct. They would do fundraising events and do musicals and do scores from different movies like Oklahoma and things like that. And they raised money for Deborah Hospital, which was a hospital in Philadelphia, I think, for years and years. And I always wanted to play on Burnt Cork, and it was always sort of a family band thing going on in our house. And if I had a story, my story would be about music. That I was actually laying in bed listening to a bunch of people at my house all playing music and thinking what a ripoff it was, that I had to go to bed and couldn't stay up with all the other people. So it was kind of like the light went off. It was like, oh, I'll just play an instrument, and they have to let me stay up.
And so I also find out that I'm one of the only 5 here that does not come from a musical family. Which I guess is why I'm playing bass. So now I started wanting to play guitar. I wanted to be Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton like everybody else. And I got guitars around the age of 6. No, it's the 6th grade, something like that. Never really went anywhere with it. And then I was hanging out with my older brother who happened to get into the bluegrass band. And I was hanging out with them. And I started playing guitar, bluegrass guitar. And my brother was playing, the band was playing a regular gig at a bar in Kansas City, down in the River Key area. So they got rid of the bass player, and they gave me 2 weeks to buy a bass and learn 4 hours worth of material. So that's
doable.
It's only a bass.
Well, it kind of was doable once you thought about it, because the bass is very even. It's sort of like the violin, where everything, if you know where one note is, you know where everything else goes. So it's pretty easy to pick up.
So here he is, Michael Rowland.
The only fiddle song I know is Double One Down in Georgia.
Never heard that before. Is that the one that's like Lonesome Fiddle Blues?
Yeah.
You could be Charlie Daniels if you keep doing that.
Yeah. If I really practice hard, I can be like Charlie Daniels. Unlike everyone else here, I was expecting to talk. I was expecting to talk. But yeah, as James alluded to, I come from a fiddle family. Fiddle is sort of a way of life in my house. My dad is a great fiddle player. His name's Peter Rowland, and he's been playing fiddle in Arizona since the 70s. Sort of been around the block everywhere and knew everybody. So I grew up in a house with music going all the time. And my dad is actually a math professor at ASU for a lot of years. But he started doing music on the side. He started doing more music, and then in the mid-90s, he said, well, I'm making more money playing music than I am teaching, and it's a lot more fun, so I'm just gonna cut out this teaching nonsense and play music. So I think in 95, 96, he quit being a teacher, just did music full-time. And he had a band named the Cowboy Legends that was his main band for a lot of years. And actually, Billy played with the Cowboy Legends. It was one of the first things he did when he came to town, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I kind of met Billy that way, and also just seeing him at festivals and stuff all the time. Yeah, so me and my brother and my sisters, we all grew up playing fiddle in the house, which sounds like a nightmare for any parent. There's nothing better than a good fiddle player. There's nothing worse than a bad fiddle player. And for a lot of years, that's exactly what we all were. But in college, I started playing with a lot of country bands, country bars, playing that old style country and new style country, and doing that through college. And then I played as much bluegrass as I could. And my brother went off and formed Run Boy Run, which some of you are familiar with, and they're a great band, and they're touring full time. He's doing that full time. Whereas I, have a day job, and I play as much as I can, whenever James lets me, and whatever anybody else calls. My dad is still fiddling. He has a fiddle camp in Colorado every year that we teach at, and my mom's also an orchestra teacher, and my grandfather on my dad's side was a violin professor. My grandmother on my dad's side was a piano professor, and so long musical history there. Not just playing, but also teaching. So my dad sort of drilled into me the importance of teaching and sort of sharing your talents. So a few years ago, I started making fiddle lessons, just fiddle lesson videos, and putting them on a website for people, just because I wanted to contribute somehow. I didn't have the time to give private lessons all the time, but here and there I would record some lessons and put them up on my website.
It's cool down on the banks of Jordan. Oh, it's cool down on the banks of Jordan. Oh, it's cool down on the banks of Jordan. My Lord said, come on in, meet you there. Yeah, they're shouting down on the banks of Jordan. Oh, they're shouting down on the to the river. John, yeah, John the Baptist was raised. Now he's singing oh, banks were too bad. It's blue down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Always blue down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Always blue down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. My Lord said, come on in and meet you there. Yeah, they're shouting down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Oh, they're shouting down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Oh, they're shouting down, down, banks of Jordan. My Lord said, come on in and meet you there. Now when Jesus, yeah, Jesus went down to the river. Yeah, John the Baptist baptized him. It was pleasing to his Father. Yes, down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Always cool down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Always cool down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. My Lord said, come on in and meet you there. Yeah, they're shouting down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Always shouting down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. Always shouting down, down, down on the banks of Jordan. My Lord said, come on in, I'll meet you there.